Hello everyone, I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com and welcome back to my continuing coverage of the 2016 Dallas International Film Festival. And I got another one to review for you guys, and this is my favorite one so far at the time of this recording, and that would be The Bad Kids. Now this is a documentary focusing on, here's the synopsis. In the desert of Southern California, students are dropped off at dawn at Black Rock Continuation High School. Principal Vonda Villand, I almost said villain, greets them with a smile and encouraging words. An alternative school for teens at risk of dropping out, Black Rock is the last chance these students have to receive a high school diploma. And that's essentially what it is. And guys, documentaries are really hard to review, so I'm going to try my best to convey this review as much as possible. So let's get real and break this down. So let's start with the directing. There's not really any writing here because these are all kids that they interviewed and stuff, but I can tell you about the directing style and how it's put together. And let me tell you, I really loved the way the directors put this movie together. There is maybe one scene with a talking head, kind of like this, where someone's looking at the camera, doing their answers or whatever. One scene. The rest of the movie is fueled by voiceover and just the actions that we see on screen. So I thought that was really clever, and it was really engaging, just something fresh and new, because at times it felt like a narrative, and that's what I really liked about this documentary the most. It was like half narrative, half documentary. So, because I didn't know this was a documentary. I walked into this movie blind, I read the synopsis, and I'm like, that sounds pretty cool. So I thought it was a movie at first, but then it was kind of shot like a documentary. I was like, oh, it's a documentary. But when it first started, I thought it was like an actual narrative. So that's a credit to the directors, making this feel kind of like a blend of both worlds. And I thought that was absolutely brilliant. But they focus on three different kids. They focus on Joey, Jennifer, and Lee. Now, Jennifer was sexually abused. Joey takes drugs, and he's kind of got like an unstable home life. And Lee is a teen father. So they primarily focus on them three. And I thought the balance between all three of them throughout the movie was fantastic. The movie's an hour and 40 minutes, and I felt like every single kid that they wanted to majorly focus on got enough time for screen. Not only that, I thought they balanced out the supporting kids very, very well. They would focus on certain kids and they would tell their kind of backstory through voiceover, and when they would show up again in the movie, I would be like, oh yeah, it's that person. So that is the staying power of this movie. You remember every single kid. And that's awesome. Like that's like nearly impossible to kind of juggle around a bunch of characters in a documentary, but they do it. They do it very, very well. And another thing about this movie is the teachers. I love the teachers, and I love their generosity. I love the fact that they want to help these kids, and they're the real heroes at the core of this story. And there's a scene, where it was staged a little bit, but yeah, but I'll let that slide. But there was a scene where they were in the teacher's lounge and they were saying, like, why do we do this? Like, what do we take away from this? Because we do get emotionally invested more so than most teachers. And, it's hard on them. It's hard on them as it is hard on the kids and stuff. And that really says a lot, that these teachers will break down emotionally for these children, but they still continue to help them because they know it's the right thing. And after you get done watching this documentary, you're going to be like, my life sucks. I need to be a teacher. I'm not even joking. Like, when I walked out, I was like, I kind of want to be a teacher now. Like, that's the power of this film. And so the teachers are really well handled, and they got some emotional weight behind them. All the kids that are presented, you feel sympathetic for them, and you want them to continue and graduate. I'm not going to ruin anything, but out of the three major ones, let's just say this. One of them graduates, one of them teeters back and forth, but he continues on, and one of them essentially drops out after a lot of struggle throughout the movie. So there's a lot of variation. So it's not just a bunch of kids they focus on that just all drop out. There's a lot of different variations between the three kids. And the thing is, as a viewer, you can see the passion there. You can see the drive there. These kids just need to be taught just some discipline and just know that people care about them for them to continue on and not feel like they're worthless. And that's what I really liked about like with Jennifer. You can see that drive and passion so much in that woman, and she just does so well throughout the movie, and like you just have a smile on your face because you know that she's trying to better her life and stuff. And that goes for all the kids. You can see that they're trying to better themselves, and how can you not commend them for that? Like. It was very inspirational, and so the directing in this movie is just super palpable. It is strong. You feel everything for these kids. Not every kid's gonna have the same outcome in this documentary. That's what makes it interesting. The way it's shot is very cool, and the teachers are the superheroes in this film. And it's definitely one of my favorite films of the festival so far, and definitely my front runner for my favorite documentary. Of the year so far. So the directing is super, super great. Going to the cinematography now, because you can't do acting in a documentary. Let's keep it real, because they're real people. Cinematography wise, what I found really interesting about it is because it's shot in the Mojave Desert, so there's a lot of really beautiful desert shots, and they're so bright and rich and colorful. And at the core of this desert is this high school, and there's a few kids throughout the movie that explain kind of like the dirt town that they're in, and like the whole world is just rotten around them, which is true. I mean, the world kind of sucks sometimes, and life is unfair, but you gotta keep pushing forward. But what I found interesting about the cinematography is that the filmmakers made the desert look beautiful. They made the world look beautiful despite what was happening at the school and at the core of this desert. So I found that kind of interesting that the filmmakers were like, no kids, like listen, the world is beautiful around you. You just need to explore, and you need to find those good parts. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too far into it. But besides that, the cinematography is really well handled. All the establishing shots in the desert are gorgeous. They are visually appealing to look at. Even the shots in the school are clean. They have some nice dolly shots and a lot of tracking shots. I mean, it probably wasn't a dolly, but like, because it was probably all on a stabilizer, but it was all smooth and all really well handled, so the cinematography was great. Going into the editing, it's an hour and 40 minutes. I thought it flew by. I was emotionally invested from the moment the movie started. That's how powerful this movie is. It focuses on one of the main three right off the bat, and right off the bat, you were hooked. And throughout the hour and 40, I never felt it drag once. I was interested to see which kids were going to graduate and which kids were going to fall off and whatnot. I was invested in all of the kids at that school that were featured in the documentary. Even the principal, who is one of the main focuses of the movie, I was interested to see just her job and how emotionally invested she was in the kids and how much of a toll it took on her. So I really loved the pace of the documentary. It was really well handled. I was invested from the start of it. Guys, I cannot praise this documentary high enough. I think it's a well done documentary. It's different. It's definitely emotionally investing, because that's really hard to do in a documentary. There were a couple of shots that were definitely out of order with the story or whatever, because like something would happen and I'd be like, okay, that's really great, and then it would cut to the next scene and like, it doesn't really make any sense with characters in the background. So it looks like some of the shots were kind of shot. I mean, everything's shot out of order. Don't get me wrong, and you construct the story from there. But it's kind of, you can tell just a little bit. But I'm not going to really hinder that in my grade. But I will say this is a really well done documentary. If you like documentaries, please go see The Bad Kids. I recommend it very, very highly. I'm going to give The Bad Kids an A. This movie is great. So have you guys seen The Bad Kids, or have you even heard of it? Comment in the place, rub my face, and let me know. I'm Chase Lee, reporting for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. See you guys later.